Chloe Fontain, and you're watching The Buzz on DBTV Networks. We're here in Herald Square asking people how they feel about the removal of the Confederate statues and Trump not denouncing white supremacists. In 1990, there was a fight to remove all Confederate symbols in the United States, from flags to Confederate statues. This fight intensified in 2015 when white supremacist Dylan Roof killed 9 black churchgoers in Charleston, South Carolina. In August, white supremacists and neo-Nazis rallied in Charlottesville, Virginia, to protest the removal of the statue of Robert E. Lee. They were met by protesters of all races and ethnicities. An angered white supremacist, his name was Alex Fields Jr., drove his car into the crowd, killing Heather Heyer and injuring over 30 protesters. As America tries to get over this tragedy, we look to Donald Trump. And we are so upset that he has not denounced white supremacy in America. So I'm here to ask people their feelings on the statues being removed and how do they feel about Donald Trump not denouncing white supremacy in America. I'm Chloe Fontain, and you're watching The Buzz.
Oh, we're from London. Sorry, we're not from America.
Well, in the South, they want to remove all the Confederate statues, the statues of people who did not want to abolish slavery, who wanted to keep slavery going. But you have some white supremacists that are fighting to keep it because they're saying that's their history.
Not involved in such a politics thing. I don't know. I'm not from here, and it's not for me to discuss about the local problem.
Sir, do you have a moment? I wanted to ask you how you felt about the Confederate statues being taken down.
Actually, I think they should be put in a museum. I can see removing them from the public places, but being it's part of American history, I think it should be in museums. I was always a museum person, so I think just to preserve, that it's history, as bad as it was or whatever, that's just how I look at it, museum, instead of just like putting them in the garbage, put it that way. But I understand to take them down, but this is my view, put them in a museum.
That's a good point. And how do you feel about Trump not denouncing the white supremacists and what happened last week?
I think you should have denounced it more, definitely. Definitely.
Thank you so much.
Okay, you're welcome. You're welcome.
I mean, I really haven't paid much attention to the news, but I think it's a good thing what's going on.
Well, the Confederate statues are of Confederate war heroes who did not want blacks to have equal rights, and they did not want to abolish slavery. They were fighting to keep slavery going. So now with all the crimes that are going against black people, people are like, these symbols should be taken down. However, you have a lot of white supremacists that are saying this is part of our history and they need to stay up. So how do you feel either way? Should they stay up or should they be taken down?
Definitely, I think it should be taken down. I mean, it's been up. I mean, that history is, it's a lot of sensitive stuff going on, with that kind of history. And I don't know the reason why it's still up. It's just, like you said, it should have been down a long time ago. So.
How about you, man?
Well, I feel the same way. Of course, I'm from Europe, so I'm not really aware of what's going on a lot, like in the States, but definitely should be taken down. Definitely.
Thank you so much, guys.
All right, no problem.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
I wanted to ask you how you feel about the Confederate statues being taken down.
I didn't know anything about it.
In the South, people are fighting to remove the Confederate statues.
Just returned from Italy, and I have no idea what's going on in the world. But, Confederate statues, taking them down, sure, why not? It's entertaining, to say the least. If they're going to cause a revolution, that's one way to do it. Yes, one way to speak out and the behave if you want to change the rules and the policies. So go for it.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
What are your opinions on the Confederate statues being taken down?
I don't think they should be taken down because it's a piece of history, and taking it down is like trying to delete a part of the history that is important for people to learn.
And what about people that feel that history is hurtful because it keeps reminding them of the racist past and slavery that used to be in America?
That's like trying to run away from your problems. It's stupid. Trying to delete history because it's hurtful. It's like trying to say that what you did in the past because you didn't like what you did in the past, so you don't want to deal with it. It's like trying to hide it, which is I don't think it's right. I think they should be left there, and people should know the history and what happened. That will help us grow. So trying to take them down because it's hurtful. It's pretty much kind of like children.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Hi, sir. Do you have a moment? I would like to get your opinion on the Confederate statues being taken down.
Oh, that one. I'm of the opinion that what happened, and there's no changing that. That's part of America. And those battles took place, actually. And the people on both sides believed in what they were doing. They had a cause. They believed. So you can agree with them or not agree with them. They had a cause. So basically, it's just part of America. And when you come in contact with those things, you know what happened. You know the history. You know the outcome. But the history isn't washed away. I think it's more destructive to try to hide things. It's kind of like Freud says, you can't hide something in your mind. It forces its way out one way or another. You know, so the best way is just to be honest and free and out there. And yeah, this happened and this is part of America. And there's no sense in saying it's not a part of America. It's not saying that we pay homage to this. It's just saying that we pay our intelligence that this happened. This actually happened, and we move beyond that. And that's all you can say, you know, because basically you can go all the way back and you can get rid of everything. And you can confuse it to the point where people don't even know what happened. You know, so I just believe that honesty is the best approach. This is what happened. This is the history. I don't think it's something you pay homage to, you know. But just because there are people in the world that still harbor these ideas, you're not going to get rid of them either, because basically they're not happy with themselves. If you're not happy with yourself, you're going to find cause to find a problem with somebody else.
Hi, sir. Do you have a moment? I wanted to ask you how you felt about the Confederate statues being taken down.
My true opinion? Yes. Well, General Robert Lee did sign over the grant, though, right? For when the Confederacy fell, did he sign the papers, the grant to the United States government and all that? So
Not 100%.
I think that he played a part in basically Lincoln plan for the Union to whatever's going on now. I don't know if I'm right. It's been a long time since I read that, but I think he did play a part in that, and he was also like Benedict Arnold to the Confederate government for signing over, because they thought they could still win, but they couldn't win.
But do you think his statue should remain up?
I think so, especially Lee, General Lee, because he definitely played a role in American history.
Now, how do you feel about Trump not denouncing white supremacists?
I think that while he is the president, I don't know what's going on. I think this is all rigged. He got a time machine or something. All right, but y'all have a good one.
You too.
No, I don't have an opinion about that.
I think that our response to the statues is not much different than our response to our favorite baseball team. When we sit in the stands and we are happy about something good happening on the field, it's never happiness for the other team. It's our team. It's our statue. But it's not different than I'm from Brooklyn, and I like Brooklyn better than the Bronx. I like America better than I like another country. There's us and them. It's just built into our genes. So we're not different than gorillas in the jungle or chimps. We have our friends, they have theirs. And saying we're tearing down the statues does a disservice to us and does a disservice to the people who believe in the statues. When you envy a girl prettier than you, it's built into your genes. They want their statue because it's part of their culture. As it happens, their culture is not a good idea.
Now, do you think they should keep them in the public square, or should they put them somewhere else?
It's a point of friction because the ones who want to keep them favor them. And if somebody said to them, "You're wanting to keep them, it's causing people pain." So what we're going to do with apologies is to move them to a place where they're not as dominant in that space, and it'll cause less pain. But we understand that it's part of your culture, and you're sorry to see it go. But they should be moved.
And how do you feel about Donald Trump not denouncing white supremacists?
I think Donald Trump is probably the best evidence we've had in a long time that this is truly a democracy. Because if a schmuck like that could get elected, it's an expression by those who elected him that is crying out, "You are leaving us bereft." Bereft of stable homes, bereft the ability to feed our children. So you send us help so we don't have to vote for a guy who, under better circumstances, we wouldn't pee on.
Confederate flags, statues of Confederate should be taken down because it represents racism. Yeah.
And how do you feel about Donald Trump not denouncing the white supremacists?
There's not really much for me to say, not every president speaks for what he is, So, and if he's not a good president, he's not a good president. That's all I can say. All right.
Thank you so much.
All right.
I wanted to ask you your opinion on the Confederate statues being taken down. How do you feel about that?
I mean, I think they should be taken down, and I think, Donald Trump's an idiot for everything he's saying, but
I agree with her. I'm not from here, so I'm not as aware of the situation, but I mean, I definitely think that any public figures or, landmarks that aren't creating a positive influence should be removed.
Yeah. Sorry, I get nervous. I'm not good at public
It
speaking.
doesn't suit the city, a city, that's so liberal and united and everything, so.
And how do you feel about him not denouncing the white supremacists?
I mean, he should not be president. Like, it goes back and back. Like, it's not that he said the wrong thing. Like, his beliefs are so deep of how he's a racist. So, yeah, I think he's an idiot, and I think he should never have been in this situation. We shouldn't have him as our president.
I'm totally aligned with her. I think that it's unfortunate that.
Gonna come and find me?
I think it's unfortunate that this day and age things like this are still happening and they're still aware, and I think that
we should all, like, that's United States is a melting pot, and if there's someone, in that position now, then they should be leading that charge every step of the way to, for every delicate situation that should be, we should all be, like, conforming to one and united as one.
You
And
just gotta ignore him.
Yeah.
Like, he's
Stronger
not our
together.
president. He's just something we have to, like, bypass to keep up progress. But he's gonna be gone soon.
Thank you, ladies, so much.
Yeah.
How do you? Oh, okay.
We don't know anything about it.
Okay.
Have a nice day.
Do you have a moment? I wanted to ask you about the Confederate statues being taken down in the South. How do you feel about that?
I don't care. You see, the thing is, they don't make sense in the first place. So for them to be up doesn't make too much sense. I understand history, but history is a very weird and touchy thing for a lot of people. It's like when people go and then raid and pillage Egyptian, pyramids and stuff like that, and then take the artifacts and then take them over to their lands where they don't belong, and then you're just like, hey, it's history, so we deserve a piece of it. No, it doesn't belong to you. It belongs over there. And considering the fact that the Confederation technically doesn't exist anymore, it kind of doesn't belong anywhere, If it does belong anywhere, it should be in a museum for people to go and look at, not like outside for people to praise and say, hey, yeah. If anything, it's there for art purposes. They were good artists that made the statues, but what the statues stand for doesn't make any sense in today's society, so yeah.
That's a good point. And how do you feel about Donald Trump not denouncing the white supremacists?
I feel like there's nothing to be said on that situation, genuinely because the fact that he is who he is, like, what do you actually expect? Like, what exactly do you expect for him to say? Like, he's proven himself to be who he is all of his life, not just since this presidency, so it's just like, all right, I guess.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome.
Hi, ma'am. Do you have a moment? I want to ask your opinion on the Confederate statues being taken down. How do you feel about that?
Come down quick enough. They need to come down, and especially the ones in our hearts. Those even more. We're ready. It's an ugly time, but it's a time that's got to be this way because we're growing. We're growing so fast, but it is painful.
And how do you feel about Trump not denouncing the white supremacists?
Well, let's just say I can't use very nice words. I probably should not even talk. I really despise him. He's an embarrassment. He needs to go.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you bet. I mean, contrast what he said to what Obama said. That tells it all. We're ready. He's got to go.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
We have beautiful dogs, too.
I wanted to know your opinions on the Confederate statues being taken down in the South.
I mean, I'm not even gonna lie, I don't know too much about it right now. Like, I ain't really hear about it.
Well, a lot of the Confederate statues are of Confederate leaders from back in the time when they wanted to keep slavery going and not abolish slavery while we were fighting for our civil rights and everything like that. So now you have a lot of statues in the South of these people who were generals, and people are fighting to take them down. They've taken down some, but people are fighting to take them all down. But you have white supremacists who are saying that that's part of their history and they should be up. So how do you feel about that?
I feel as though they should take them down, like, because that's like that. Those people are the people that like that was damaged in the past. So I feel as though if they take it down, like that'll create change, like more change. And then I did hear about like what's going on down there right now, like with the KKK and all that, how they're wilding right now. So I feel as though like that probably could slow things down. Like that could make a better change.
Now, how do you feel about people saying, well, that's part of their history, it should stay up?
Yeah, but that's not good history though. Like America is supposed to be like it's supposed to be. They said it's supposed to be the best place where you live at, right? So I feel as though like it should make everybody comfortable. That's not making like black people comfortable. That's how I feel about it.
Hi, I'm Chloe Fontain, and you're watching DPTV Networks. And even though we moved over to Union Square, we asked the same question: how do people feel about the Confederate statues being taken down and Donald Trump not denouncing white supremacists? All in all, people do feel that The statues may remind people of the evil past of racism, but it is a part of our history. Now, whether or not they belong in a public square, that's up for debate. I'm Chloe Fontaine, and you're watching The Buzz on DPTV Networks. Thank you.